Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix, and you're listening to the week ahead video for Sunday, May 5th, 2019. I hope everybody's having a great weekend as we are approaching summer. Hopefully it's warming up around your neck of the woods, wherever you should be around the world. Well, I guess unless you're in Australia, it's probably starting to get a little cooler. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So we have a few things to talk about this week, primarily with the dollar, and then also some central bank activity with the RBNZ and the RBA, and some pretty big moves that happened in the FX market this last week. Volatility is picking up, and like I said, there's pretty exciting technical stuff developing. However, before I get started, I need to mention, if you haven't tried out ForexAnalytix, make sure you do so. If you want to see what it's all about, click the video right. Oh, whoops. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. But click that video right there. You can actually see a video on what ForexAnalytix is and how it works. And then click this button right here. Sign up today. It's only $1 for 10 days. Try it out. And when you do that, also download the mobile app. So this way, and you can watch the video here of the mobile app. I'm going to go ahead and delete that or close that out, but you can get it from the App Store, Google Play Store, and this way you have all of our analysis, our chat room, which is private for ForexAnalytix subscribers only. You have everything at your fingertips, no matter if you're in front of your trade station at your desktop or not. If you're on the road, make sure you have that. Okay, so let's talk about. Let's go to the. Let's talk about this next week. So, first and foremost, I think one of the things that we have to look at is we have to actually take a look at the dollar index. The dollar index, this is a little scary. If you're long the dollar, it's got to be a little nerve-wracking that the fact that we could not get above, or we could not close the week back above the 618 retracement. Now, that's a longer term 618 retracement. From the low, or excuse me, the high back in, this early 2017, right after the election, then the lows this last year. We have the key fib level, the 618. We closed above it last week, and now we have a false breakout situation. And if you want to, if I'll put the weekly chart up here just so I can kind of zoom in and out of it, you can actually see as a false breakout, and that was a big deal. I mean, if you go into last week, let me get rid of that. Let's go over here. If you're a dollar bull into last week, you saw this nice bull flag pattern. We're playing out. Looks like we're going to play out towards 99 and change. I was pretty bullish the dollar going into the end of last week, and but this week we failed, and we closed below that 618 retracement. That's a risk. If you're long dollars right now, it's a big risk. And like I said, I was bullish going into last week. I was thinking, oh, here we go with the dollar. We're going dollar's going to head up towards 99, or this, you can see the flag pattern and what we were looking at here. The flag pattern was pointing towards 98, above 98.50, and we got close. But we closed the week below that, below the 97.80 level, which was the breakout point. That's the top of this this zone right here. And that failure, that's a risk. And we have a couple of central banks that are meeting this week. We have first and foremost, we have the RBA, and the RBA meets on Monday night or Tuesday morning if you're in Australia. And we held the 70-cent level pretty well. You can see the daily chart here. We might have made a slight false breakdown below 70 cents, and then boom, we're back up again. The risk is building for a possible double bottom. That means the 70-cent level holds. We make it above this 70.70, and then that takes us all the way back up to this this downtrend line. The market is expecting eventually an RBA and an RBNZ, which is the next day, Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning if you're in Auckland, or if you're in New Zealand. But the market's expecting the RBA and the RBNZ to eventually cut. I think the risk is for the RBNZ potentially the risk might even be for a cut this week. However, whether they do or don't, that means that the fact of the matter is the RBA and the RBNZ is they are probably going to cut here within the next few months. And so as a result, if the RBA signals that a cut is not coming immediately, but we might see it eventually, the Aussie dollar could respond positively and forge out this double bottom. And if you take like the Kiwi has actually performed a little bit better. Look at the daily chart. We where the Aussie matched the lows, the recent lows, the Kiwi didn't, and we clearly are making a higher low. Okay, so if you're looking at like the dollar, and we're just referencing the dollar index and thinking, okay, the dollar may have had a false breakout. Could that lead to the Aussie and the Kiwi both leading the charge higher? Absolutely. And another currency that I think we all have to pay very close attention to, not only the Aussie and the New Zealand, is the Aussie New Zealand currency pair itself. I have been bullish to Aussie New Zealand. I have been playing it on the long side, and I'm not opposed to playing it to the long side again while we're holding above this 105.50 level. Now the 105.50 level, you can't see it on this chart. I'm going to take you over to the Aussie New Zealand on the ones that I'm drawing here. Okay, let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of this. And I'll get rid of that. Okay, so you can see the 38% retracement is holding. And that's basically 105.50. Now we have a little, possible head and shoulder pattern, but it's just a setup. It's not a head and shoulder pattern until it is, meaning that we really have to take out this whoops, let me undo the magnet. We'd really have to take out this this neckline right here in order for the Aussie New Zealand to play lower. Now, with the RBA and the RBNZ both meeting this week, I can trade this either way. I have no problem with the Aussie New Zealand trading it to the short side here, and then eventually looking for a reversal long. Or the flip side to that is if you break above the shoulder right here, because of the RBA and RBNZ, playing it to the long side here. I have no qualms doing either or. I'd rather be a buyer on dips on the Aussie New Zealand, meaning I'd rather be buying down here at 104, 103.70 at the 78% retracement, because once this head and shoulder pattern plays out, something like this, I'd rather be playing it on the long side down here, or a break above 106.20. And I'm looking for a resumption of trend rather than a head and shoulder pattern. Again, what happens here with the Aussie New Zealand is not it's going to be a result of what happens with the RBA and the RBNZ. And for you to get out and start trying to trade it here over the next 24, 48 hours before the RBA meets and the RBNZ the next day, you're just rolling the dice. But like I said, based on what I'm seeing here, I can play it either way. I don't care. I'll buy the dip down at 104, or I'll buy a breakout above 106 and a quarter, because a lot of people are already preparing for a short here, and a squeeze above this this right shoulder will just carry it higher. And then, like I said, it'll be a resumption trend. We can look at it more as a bull flag pattern or a pennant in that situation. Okay, enough about the Aussie New Zealand. Another thing that we should be looking at, another currency pair we really need to be looking at is the cable. The cable had a very bullish close at the end of the week. That is a strong move out of a descending wedge. You can see the descending wedge here. Okay, which is a bullish reversal. That's a Marabuzzo closing white candle, which is a very bullish. It's an outside day, bullish engulfing, however you want to look at it. It was a very strong close. There is a risk if you're short the pound that some sort of Brexit deal gets done this week. There's a lot of talk about, possibly a watered down Brexit, agreement. It seems to be a very big push amongst UK leaders to get a deal done. So the risk, I think, is building to the upside for the cable. Now I'm going to take you to a different chart really quick. One that I posted for our chat room traders at the end of the week that was in the ForexAnalytix chat. This is the cable, a little bit different drawing from my normal. Here's the pound. What I've been looking at on a daily basis. I started from scratch over here, and I redid the chart myself just so you can see how important the 132, roughly 132.20 level is. So you can see, first of all, the 618 retracement comes in at 132, right? Then you have a downtrend line. This is, spawns from April of last year. Spike high over here in March, and then current prices. I think if we get above 132.20, 132.30, somewhere in that neighborhood, I don't think it's you want to be on the short side of the cable anymore, because now we're risking a bigger move of let me just draw this out for you guys. You have a big, whoops, that's not what I wanted, wrong thing. You have a big inverted head and shoulder pattern that's developing here, right? Big inverted head and shoulder pattern. You can see the neckline comes in somewhere around here, somewhere in that neighborhood. And if you look at what the potential of extension of this move is, it'll take us up to 140. Okay, so and that's being generous. I maybe even above 140 towards 141. Okay, and depending on where the neckline is drawn at. So the cable could really get up and go, especially if some sort of Brexit deal in principle gets done. And like I said, if you're on the short side of the cable or you're looking to short, I just don't know if I'd want to be short if you get above that 132.20, 132.30 level. Okay, so keep an eye on the cable. It was a very, very strong close. I mean, look at the weekly candle. That is a very long white candle. I know we've seen them before. And then they failed. But like I said, the risk is starting to build, and we've got a nice base that's being built. So a couple other things that are happening this week that we should focus on is we have, as far as data goes, we have the Fed chair does speak on Thursday. We have inflation data in the U.S. coming at the end of the week. We have producer prices on Thursday. We have consumer prices on Friday. We also have Canadian employment. I guess what we should do is take a look at the CAD really quick. Let's go over to the daily chart. The Canadian has actually been holding up very well, especially in light of the strong crude oil prices. As of late, the dollar Canadian has not dropped, but if Canada has a strong showing on Friday with employment, and we see overall the U.S. dollar starts to weaken, perhaps that might be the catalyst that drives the dollar Canadian lower. You can see this pretty well mannered, and you can see it in red, this up channel. So if we start getting back below 133 towards 132.50, we break that support, we could see 131 again. So watch the dollar Canadian. That's a currency pair just based on the economic data at the end of the next week. That's something that could move. We also have UK GDP on Friday, but really, I think what's happening regarding Brexit is going to be the bigger deal this going into this next week. So anyway, guys and gals, if you found this video helpful going into this next week, make sure you click the thumbs up button, that you like the video. It helps all of us here at Forex Analytics, the guys and gals that are producing this video, our team. It makes us all feel better that you guys are getting something out of this free video. And also make sure you click the subscribe button on YouTube and hit the little bell icon so you're notified every time we have a new interview, and we post those on YouTube, so this way you don't miss any of them. There were some really great interviews this last week that Dale Pinker did, so go back and to the playlist and listen to those. You can also find them on our website too. If you're on our website, you can actually go to where it says webinars, and you can go to our playlist, and you can see all the interviews that were done recently. And every time we upload them here as well. So take a look at those. But guys and gals, my name is Blake Morrow. I hope you have a great trading week this next week. I will be on the FACE webinar tomorrow morning or on Monday morning, and that is also free. You can register for those down here. If you don't know how to do that, you can just click right over here and you can see all the times that we broadcast. I'll see you then, and I hope you have a great remainder of your weekend. Thanks for listening in.